r/AskReddit by LaughWithMEmes. How do you stop being a lazy, useless piece of shit? First step, don't hate on yourself so much. You're never going to realize your potential and worth if you put yourself down. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to feel like shit. We all experience this, and for the time and climate we live in, it's fairly standard. Try and do a little bit better every day. Brush your teeth, floss, make your bed, do the dishes, stand when you eat instead of sitting, don't take your phone to the toilet, drink water. The little things will snowball. Once you prove to yourself that you can take care of the little shit, the big shit just becomes groups of small shit. Second step, find something you want to do. If the only thing you want to do is not be a piece of shit, the fire will die quickly. But if you want to be in great shape, or learn an instrument, or play D&D, or hike X mountains, or write a shitty 500-page thriller, or play bar trivia, and be good at it, you'll find that as a consequence of these pursuits you drop the piece of shit along the way. Sobriety is okay enough, Denny says, but someday, I'd like to live a life based on doing good stuff instead of just not doing bad stuff. You know, Choke by Chuck Palahniuk edit. A lot of people asking about the toilet and phone. The op was about laziness. You're there to take a shit. Get in, get out. Don't get distracted and sit around forever. This is of course self-sabotaging advice, because if we didn't read it on the toilet this post would have gone nowhere. Thanks for the love and responses. I don't have the time to reply to everything. I hope you all find a way to love yourself and thrive in your daily ventures. As someone who is in the same boat as Op and literally spent hours this morning watching TED Talks and reading articles on procrastination etc. to try and replicate some kind of motivation, this advice is right on the money with what studies are saying. People who manage to combat procrastination most effectively, they are the ones who accepted that they couldn't change what was already done and learned to forgive themselves. They may have fucked up on exam 1 and bombed it, but the people who let go and moved on, versus my method of adding this new despair and self-loathing to a vast pit of accumulated stress from which I feed my depression monster, ended up curbing procrastination when the second exam came around, versus those who follow my model of living were more likely to continue the self-destructive cycle. So yeah, don't hate yourself so much. Let that sink in. Don't hate yourself so much. Join me on this magical adventure of learning to let shit go. If that requires talking aloud to yourself, or writing a letter listing all the fuckery you're holding on to, and doing some ceremonial burning, or just agreeing silently on the inside that logically there is nothing you, me, or any of the other people in our position desperately scrolling through this thread for a solution can do to change the past. So why burn what little energy and motivation we have on trying to solve what's already happened and can't be changed? Logically, that's just a sink pit. But you know what can change? How panda fighters, and the rest of us, chooses to view themselves, and whether or not you dedicate your energy to fighting an unwinnable battle against the past, or building a better life in the present and future. You've already recognized the cumulative actions in the past isn't who you want to be in the future. You've taken the first step and posted this thread. You're reading, and even responding, to comments. Use that as your first ember of proof that you aren't just a lazy, useless piece of shit, and build yourself a raging fire of glory. Who the fuck knows, maybe this time will be different for us. Stranger shit has happened. Find something that pisses you off and get engaged to change it. 4 years ago I decided I'd quit bitching and moaning about climate change, and I would fucking act. So I got $20 and a shovel and started down a path that would change my life forever. I planted a fruit tree on my useless grass lawn. 4 years later I have a full-blown food forest and am continuing to expand. It's been fascinating to see what was previously a dead lawn is now a thriving ecosystem. The bees came, the birds came, the squirrels and rabbits came. The deer came. But then the foxes and owls and hawks came. And even some wolves and coyotes. I'm now pushing out further and further, taking down dead monoculture cedar stand and weed pits, and putting up food systems. I'm digging ponds and putting water in for all the animals that now live on my land. I have surplus food that I donate to food drives. I even have agriculture groups that found out about my place and want to tour my property this fall. All because I decided to stop being a lazy ass, get up off it, and plant a damn tree. In doing so, I found my passion and even my purpose in life. Not to be a good father and good husband, but rather to engage people to help me save the planet and get more food growing on trees. Help decentralize the food system. I have people from all over the world who watch my videos who tell me that they started systems on their properties on the other side of the planet, all because they watched my videos. It's humbling, and it's amazing what one small act can start. Edit, for everyone asking about my channel. I have been temp banned before for posting my channel info. If you are smart and creep my post history, you can find it pretty easily. I make lists of little things to do in a day, bigger things to do in a week, etc. It helps. How do you format those lists? My to-do list is in the most logical order to do stuff, like going to the post office on the way to get groceries, and I put stars next to things I absolutely must do today. Spending time worrying about formatting will paralyze you into actually doing nothing. Just write it down to start, using actual pen/pencil and paper, and adjust the format later to something else if you need. It's what worked for me. I tried finding apps that gave me notifications for things, set reminders, all sorts of stuff. I spent so much time researching the optimum way to remind and motivate myself to actually do something that I ended up with nothing actually getting done. Just write it down, put the list on a wall or something somewhere where you can see it. Be disciplined enough to follow through on the small things, and eventually the big things get easier. What honestly worked for me was following the 5-second rule. Whenever you need to do something, but don't feel like it, immediately start counting down from 5, and once you get to 1, just start doing it. It sounds dumb but works. Realize that motivation is trash and you'll never feel motivated, except to do things that feel easy. Look up Mel Robbins on YouTube. She explains it perfectly. This is totally true, and I say this as someone who works from home in a job that is 100% internally driven. My deadlines are 6 months or a year long, and I'm accountable to my boss once a year. You will never not want to goof off all day. I fight wanting around all the time. I just force myself to do things because I know that if I don't, then eventually I'll be completely I'm not motivated so much as obliged. Positive reinforcement, my dude. Take pride and feel good about the good choices you make. Don't criticize or condemn the bad decisions. Bad decisions help you learn and make better decisions in the future. Don't criticize or condemn the bad decisions. If you could tell me how not to do that, I would really appreciate it. If there is no negative repercussion to a bad decision, then you can just consider it practice and feel good about what you've learned. If there are negative repercussions, you can start by taking a small positive step toward fixing it and feel good about doing that. The present/future is really all that matters. I would also say to accept that you made a bad decision. Every time you think of it and think, wow, I really messed that up, follow it up with, but it's already done, I can't change it, all I can do is to be better. And don't feel bad about feeling bad. That's a horrible cycle to get into, and it's tough to break. You're allowed to feel bad, even if you feel like there's no good reason. Don't beat yourself up over it. Let yourself feel bad for a while, then redirect your energy to something else. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be doing chores, or making a shopping list, or even doing something in a game you've been putting off. Just something that makes you feel like you accomplished something. I recently joined a gym, but I needed some kind of motivation to actually go, so I told myself, there's a B-dubs nearby, if you go to the gym you can go get some buffalo wings right afterwards. It's been such a good motivator that sometimes I just skip the gym and go straight to B-dubs. Hey man, I just started doing this, so I feel the need to pass on. Record what you do, You'd be amazed at the progress over time. The day-to-day can suck, but seeing the weight you lift go up, or your body weight go down, man, it's nice. Also, something I found out about dieting. Any diet will work, as long as you're in a calorie deficit. Some people think they have to pick a certain one. Just pick one you like first. So if you burn more calories than you take in a day, then you will lose weight. Add a gym membership to that, and the pounds come right off. Still eat anything you want. Just count the calories. MyFitnessPal and Health Infinity on the phones is great for tracking all this. It's really easy tbh. Stop calling yourself a useless lazy piece of shit. Things seem overwhelming if you've let them build up and avoided them for a while. Responsibilities like chores and a job are bills you eventually have paid to yourself in the form of labor. You can't fix it all in one day, it takes time. I was where you were for a long time. Feeling like I was worthless, lazy, etc. Take it a step at a time. Example, dishes piled so high that you can't even get to the sink because you've been wallowing in depression for 6 months and haven't left your bed except to pee and maybe eat. Clear out one side of the sink one day. The next day, wash a few things in that newly cleared sink. Do a little every day, even if it's only a couple of items. Eventually you'll get to a point where you notice the pile getting smaller and smaller. The key is not to beat yourself up over not getting it all done at once, but letting yourself feel good that you did something rather than nothing. Aim low. Do the tiniest thing possible that will make you feel even the tiniest sense of accomplishment. Clean your room. If that's too much, maybe just make your bed and that's it. Get those little wins and use them as momentum to build up to bigger tasks/accomplishments. Forget getting that new job/getting ripped/asking the gorgeous person out. Start with making your bed. Practice being productive every single day. Recognize that motivation is fleeting, but discipline persists. Not enough people get this. Sure, some motivation can give you a good pump to start something, but discipline is what you need for the long road. I go to the gym not because I want to, but because I have to. The best advice op can get is to stop looking for motivation. Learn discipline day by day. Start by not snoozing the alarm clock. Wake up early, do your bed, and be ready to go. This is close to what I've been realizing. Routine is key. I can live a pretty healthy life, cook my own meals, go for a 2-mile walk after work, read for half an hour before bed. But my work schedule shifts around a lot. I went from working 8 AM to 6 PM to 5 AM to 5 PM for the last few days. It broke my routine and now I haven't done any of those things since the schedule change. Depends on what is causing you to be a lazy, useless piece of shit. Sometimes that's caused by an absolute lack of motivation, which can in turn be caused by depression, dysthymia, or a restrictive environment that won't let you even look for your calling. In this case, therapy is the best fix, and medication is a useful tool. Sometimes that happens because your anxiety pushes you towards avoidance through paralyzation and you don't even realize. In that case, therapy and medication. Sometimes you're like that because, frankly, you really enjoy it, and the real problem is the people around you making you believe it is wrong to live your life that way, even if it is functional to you. Maybe you just were never taught how to be proactive, and you require to modify your personality. Or maybe you are self-sabotaging due to a system of dysfunctional beliefs. Maybe you're not lazy, but actually tired. Maybe you aren't eating well enough, or not drinking enough water, or you have restless sleep due to stress, anxiety, or something else, and you really are tired. Or maybe you really mentally tired, and really do need the rest. Step 1 would be figuring out why you are a lazy, useless piece of shit. Do things badly. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Let go of that voice in your head that says that if you start something you need to finish it. I bet it sounds like your mother. Let go of your perfectionism. Wash one dish. Put your dirty clothes in a hamper. Go to the gym and walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. Open a Word document and write one Ronin sentence of that novel you've been meaning to write for years. Inertia affects motivation the same way it does objects. Once you are up and moving, it will be easier. Tomorrow you might be able to wash 2 dishes, walk for 10 minutes, do a load of laundry, write 3 sentences of that novel, but if you can't, don't beat yourself up about it. Let yourself feel good for accomplishing what you could. Set small, achievable, even ridiculous goals, and once you get used to reaching those on the regular, up them. Bit by bit, you will see progress. Stand up, right now. Look down at your hands. Listen to your breath. Feel your heart pumping within you. You're alive, here on one of the few tiny scraps of rock in this vast universe where you're possible, where anything like you is possible. For 3 billion years, your ancestors have escaped meteorites and ice ages, volcanoes, and floods, droughts, and predators and viruses and fire and earthquake. They have seen the moon draw away, and the earth spinning slow, the continents cool and the atmosphere fill with water and oxygen. Throughout all those long eons, those tiny mindless cells became fish and reptiles and then mammals. They cooperated, competed, killed, lived. They became humans, and through the long march of history they have survived the wars and pogroms, been heroes and villains. Thieves, saints, cannibals, doctors, every strategy and choice and lucky break is in you summarized and concentrated. You are the last link in a chain, forged across billions of years. You inherit a crown passed through untold generations of winners. You are impossible. You are a miracle. Look around you. Look at the world we have made, full of knowledge distilled from painstaking examination and wisdom hard won by a billion survivors and veterans and saints. Look at how far we have all come. Look at the people around you, all asleep to the greatness within them. Close your hand, open it. You have so many choices. You can do so much. Your time is drawing to an end. Who will tell your story? What will they say? You can pass the torch. You can stand in glory. I know you can. Because every atom within you has been present for countless victories. You wear a shape sculpted through countless trials. Your thoughts echo down the hallways of a mind designed to master the problems of this world. You are the end of a billion journeys. You are the summit of a mount older than the stones. You are the victory. You are the reason. You are, and you shall be. Go now. Go forward, to shape the wonders and tales of the world that will follow you. Add a brick to the monument of civilization. Honor the web of life that has made you. Bring life and love into a world that has offered the same to you. Your time is here. Your victory comes soon. Go. Compartmentalize your tasks. Do you have cleaning to do? Make a checklist and check off the items as you do them. It'll feel like you're getting more done. This is what you do once you stop being lazy and useless, but the question is how to get from that point. No motivation. Feels like you can't make yourself do anything, to this point. Not only cleaning, but making lists and shit. I feel like there's at least one step in between, maybe more, and those are what OP is looking for. Sometimes I'll set a timer and think, okay, I'll do whatever task for 15 minutes, then I don't have to do any more and can stop feeling guilty about not having done anything. Usually, once the 15 minutes is up, I'm most of the way through the task and am more apt to finish. Maybe even walk into another room and set another 15. Think about why you don't do stuff. You can't fix it if you don't acknowledge that it's a problem. Really try to assess why you don't do blank. Problem: I don't brush my teeth in the morning when I don't have time. So the fix is to give myself more time. Solution: go to bed an hour earlier and wake up an hour earlier. Problem: I don't clean house because it feels like it would be an enormous undertaking at this point because I've let it go for so long. Solution: every time I go to the bathroom or when I'm in queue, pick up a few pieces of trash and throw them away. Problem: I sleep the day away. Solution: think of any reason To get up early that is rewarding or I enjoy. There is a place in town that sells these sweet girl lashes. But they are only open from like 0500 until 0900. So I wake up early just to get one of those and then play games for an hour or two before I do whatever I need/want to. Problem: I have a hard time getting up in the morning because sometimes I feel like life sucks. Solution: change my alarm to Circle of Life, and when it goes off grab my cat and hold it off the edge of the bed. One day all of this will be yours. Problem: I waste my day doing things I don't enjoy just because the alternative is doing something productive and I just don't wanna. Solution: narrate like I'm insanely parable and just be fucking ridiculous, especially if I don't feel like it. Eventually I'll really go over the top and laugh at how absolutely ridiculous it all is. I'm always smiling by the end. Problem: I have a massive library of games and none of them seem like fun. Solution: pick a multiplayer game and spend time searching for and helping newbies. Problem: I'm unhappy. Solution: try to make other people happy. If I'm miserable then doing shit for other people won't make me more miserable and it'll make them happy, which in turn will make me happy. Problem: I feel like my life sucks because I hate my job and getting out of bed in the morning is just too much. But I don't want to quit because searching for a new job is scary and I don't want to risk making my life worse. Solution: sorry Hoss, just start looking for another job in your off time, and when you get an interview and an offer ask if you can give 2 weeks. If yes then put in 2 weeks and then start your new job. If no, start your new job. If your job makes you miserable and it isn't wholly on you then fuck him. Problem: I don't eat healthy because cooking takes too much energy and time. It's just so much easier to eat out. Solution: let me know when you figure it out. I've been living off of Subway, pizza, Burger King, and rando stuff I get with my diabetic coworker for the last 3 years. Great work. You've identified that change is important and necessary. Step 1. Failure is okay. Creating a self-hatred that perpetuates itself because you're saying it will hurt your motivation. There's many people who will put you down. Don't let one of them be you. Step 2. Find something really easy and really basic and commit to doing it every day. I tell my psychiatry clients, I'm registered nurse on psychiatry unit, to make your bed every morning. It's easy and doable. But more importantly, the more you do it, the more you subconsciously show yourself that you're not a failure and you can maintain discipline for self-care, and even that's a victory in itself. It will also help with learning to deal with the distress of failure, so you can tell yourself I did X, E.G making my bed, and developed a habit that can keep me well. I just have to be consistent with your goal, and I can develop new skills, and therefore a newfound sense of self-worth and capability. Step 3. Find a goal you want to do and develop a mantra that'll keep you going. For myself, I wanted to lose weight, but beyond having the perfect exercise and diet plan, the key decider of my goal was beating the mental game to be disciplined. My personal mantra that's helped for the last 6 months is you'll never regret going to the gym and eating well. You'll always regret being lazy and eating like shit. I'm not saying these particular phrases will work to motivate everyone, but they work for me. Then I figured out a basic exercise and diet plan with a friend, and 6 months later I'm about 10 kgs lighter and more muscle bound. Good intentions are great, but having the plan that keeps your mental game in check is more important to keep disciplined emo. Step 4. You can cut out other less productive shit. Warren Buffett has that rule, to cut out that which you don't truly need. This may require soul searching, but will ultimately benefit you. I've switched to less video games and more exercise, reading, writing, playing music. This could be something else for you. I'm not putting down video games because they're one of my favorite pastimes. I've just refocused in a way that still keeps me happy. I definitely go back to them once in a while whenever I'm interested. Step 5. Don't rush it. Take your time. Change is a good thing, albeit uncomfortable at times. You can do this. Yes, you can. Humans are super resilient and capable, and so are you. You just have to start telling yourself that. I made this process up. It's not researched. But it's not necessarily wrong, I'd say. Everything in life is a habit from what time you get up to what you do, so the more you redefine less productive to more productive habits, the better you can make yourself. If you have problems with dealing with distress and refocusing and maintaining a positive perspective, hit me up. I have free workbooks that can help if you commit to them. Cheers. Keep it up. You can do great things too. Figure out what you want in life. Don't focus on all the ways you can feel bad about yourself. Negative people around you will, but ignore them. Instead, focus on something positive you want to see happen, then orient your efforts around that. Ultimately, if you try to use guilt to motivate yourself, it will work a little, but you just end up being dissatisfied because you resent yourself and see yourself as your own enemy. If instead you have some positive things to work toward, then you can see work as a good thing. Sure, work has unpleasant aspects, that's why it's called work, but they're a lot easier to handle if you can relate it back to something you want. For example, think about scrubbing the shower. One way of looking at it is to think, I only scrub the shower once a month at most, but what you're supposed to do is scrub it every week, so damn it, I suck. Why can't I just get off my ass and do this basic thing that other, more responsible people do? Another way is to think, hey, I remember once how much nicer it was when I had that shower clean. I would walk into the bathroom and see that it was clean, and it was satisfying, and maybe I felt in control, and I want that feeling again, and scrubbing the shower is how I'm going to get there. One way you may be able to relate better to positive feelings about work is to think about a hobby where you put in a ton of effort, but it doesn't feel like work. For example, ever spent 10 hours plugging away getting better at a video game? It probably wasn't an entirely pleasant process. Maybe you skipped a meal, your body or your eyes got tired, etc. But that didn't stop you, and you did all that because you wanted to beat that level, or whatever. Your work lined up with a goal you set for yourself, so you had no problem doing that work. Please like and subscribe for more. This is Laugh with Memes. Goodbye.